Hello there, time for a look at my updated travel skincare bag. I went away for 2 months earlier this year and shared my travel makeup bag last week, but after many requests, here's the skincare version. I managed to bring my entire routine with me with only a couple of full-sized products, all about travel minis and decanting into smaller pots instead. My previous travel skincare bag video from last year is still one of my favourites I've ever made because it really steps you through my packing process and how I decant products and make labels, so make sure you check that one out too. I moved overseas for part of last year, so the bag in that video was for 7 months away, and I really wanted to cover a lot of different skincare options for different climates, but since then I've completely simplified my routine in general, and I was able to be much more lean with packing this time. It might still look like a lot, but there aren't actually that many items per category. I'm also filming this after my trip this time. The previous video was filmed the day that I left, so this one has some products that are still at the same level as the end of the trip, so I can talk about how much I actually used up in that time. First, the bathroom bag I use is the Dop Kit by Away, which they don't seem to make anymore. I bought this about 18 months ago, and it's been really handy, big enough to fit a lot inside, but narrow enough to fit neatly in between clothing in your suitcase too. It has one big compartment, which is leak-proof if any spills do happen inside, 2 little side zip pockets, so I tend to keep things like band-aids, spare hair ties, and bobby pins in one, and sharps like tweezers and nail scissors in the other. Then there's an outside zip too, where I'll tuck away some vitamins or medicine. I still swear by Muji's little travel containers and pots. I'll leave the style names of these shapes down below. They're a great way to slim down your packing, and you can still fit plenty of product inside. You do not need your full-size makeup remover or mask or moisturizer for a few nights away, even a few weeks away. These have you covered. And if I do run out of something, I'll repurchase and refill along the way. I'm such a big fan of travel minis, so I try to only take full-sized products if they don't come in a mini size and if they're something I use every day, like these in my morning routine. I never thought I'd be obsessed with a deodorant of all things, but it happened this year. The Malin & Getz eucalyptus deodorant, lovely fresh scent, incredibly effective at keeping me smelling fresh on long travel days. This one is actually a mini. I've since bought the full size too, but this is in a big pile of empties I've been collecting and will share in future. My morning moisturizer is Glossier Priming Moisturizer in its 100 and something appearance on my channel. A super lightweight fluid moisturizer that preps skin nicely for makeup and gives you a healthy, dewy glow. I can't remember if the tube was completely new when I took it away, but I certainly went through a fair bit in 2 months. Then sunscreen, something I apply every single day no matter the weather. Truly the most important thing you can put on your skin, and it doesn't feel like a chore when you find the right one for you. Ultraviolet is an Australian brand, and I'm addicted to Supreme Screen, their SPF 50 hydrating formula that feels like a moisturizer and gives your skin a healthy glow. I'll leave a discount code below, but there are some shipping restrictions because sunscreen regulations vary from country to country. Then my all-time favourite perfume and signature scent for the last 6 or 7 years, Jo Malone Red Roses. Wish there was a refill or a slightly smaller one I could take away, but the 30ml bottle is at least the skinniest version. That's the morning done. Moving on to my nighttime skincare routine. You'll hear more about this in my 2019 favourites video, nearly time for that. There are a few steps here, but it's not actually that complicated. Makeup remover, first cleanse, actual cleanser, face mist, moisturizer, face oil. Nothing too fancy, but it's given me my best skin ever this year. The Chanel Bi-Phase Gentle Eye Makeup Remover has been my one and only for years. It comes in a fairly chunky bottle, so I decant it into this Muji container, and I've never had a single spill in my bag. This size lasted perfectly for 2 months away. There's only this much left. A little bit goes a long way because it's so good at removing eye makeup. The bottle is easy to pour out onto a cotton round, which I take in one of these fairly small 20 packs, but then stuff it with about twice as much, so it will last quite a while without needing to buy more. But I'm really interested in the reusable cotton rounds Emma Watson shared in a recent Vogue video. I don't do this all the time at home, but on the road and in big cities with more pollution, I like to do a first cleanse by wiping my face with a cotton round soaked in Bioderma. This famous micellar water removes makeup and dirt and grime, and again, this mini was plenty for 2 months. The only disadvantage is that these bottles aren't refillable, so I'd love to see them change that in future. Then my regular cleanser. I love a gel, something that really foams up and makes your face feel fresh and clean, and Avène's Cleanance cleanser has been my favourite all year. See, how much better is it packing this little pot instead? So much smaller. This was something I had to repurchase along the way, but the pot lasted for at least 4 weeks, and by that stage I was based in one city for most of the time, so I didn't have to carry the new bottle around in my suitcase. After cleansing, I always refresh my skin with a face mist to help my moisturiser absorb next. But this isn't Mario Badescu. I've actually decanted my favourite Jurlique Rosewater Balancing Mist from Australia into this bottle. Jurlique's formula only comes in glass, too heavy and breakable for travel, and I actually prefer the spray spray mechanism on this that really makes your face quite damp, which means my moisturiser sinks in really well. I've been loving the Quarterly Vino Source Moisturising Sorbet all year, and they come in a handy travel mini size. This feels like a sorbet, super light and fluffy on the skin. Again, something I did repurchase mid-trip, but I can't get the brand very easily at home, so I was going to stock up anyway. Finally, I always finish with face oil. It's been the biggest game changer in my skincare routine and something I've used religiously this year. But once again, this is not the Cora Organics oil, it's the cult favourite Vintner's Daughter Active Botanical Serum. It's called a serum, but it's essentially a face oil. A serious splurge and the most expensive product I own, but something that's completely transformed my skin. So much more even and glowy and less prone to breakouts. This tiny 10ml bottle nearly got me through the whole 2 months. I only had to refill it after about 6 weeks, but I'd run out back home and it was time to pick up another one anyway. Can't forget lip balm. I take this Blistex lip conditioner pot everywhere and put it on almost every night. There is petroleum in here, which I normally try to avoid in favour of more hydrating ingredients, but the rest of what's in this pot makes it the most effective lip balm I've ever used to heal my lips if they're really dry or cracked. Can't go anywhere without it. Your skin can look pretty worse for wear after long flights, so I like to bring a few mask options. A different hydration routine is actually hiding in my in-flight skincare bag, so let me know if you'd like an update on that too. Glossier's Mega Greens Galaxy Pack is one of my favourite skincare products from the brand. It's a detoxifying mask, but it's creamy so it doesn't dry out my skin, it just makes it feel clean and refreshed. I didn't actually use as much of this as on previous trips, so I'd put it in a smaller Muji pot next time. Then a couple of sheet masks, easy to tuck away in one corner of your suitcase or bathroom bag. Go-To Skincare is one of my top Aussie brands, and their Transformazing mask is all about glow. Brightening native Australian ingredients like Kakadu plum and finger lime make it a great one to pop on before a night out or a big work thing, so your skin is perked up and glowy pre-makeup. Then the Aceology Froze Infusion Gel Mask, another Australian brand and one that I discovered this year. They make other masks you mix up yourself, but these are great for travel. It's a sheet mask with a thicker jelly texture that instantly cools you down and makes my skin look nice and plump and hydrated. You saw a face sunscreen earlier, but my SUNCARE doesn't stop there. I always pack a small fluid sunscreen like this Vichy Ideal Soleil SPF 50 in my handbag every day on my travels for touch-ups on my face and body. The packaging is skinny enough to hide in even the smallest of handbags, no excuse. But I'm also a big fan of the Vichy Ideal Soleil SPF 50 Hydrating Mist. The least sunscreeny spray I've tried. It's so nice and light and I love the scent. I buy this in bulk in France because it's a bit harder to find outside Europe. I've never seen it in Australia. Although a cream sunscreen will always give you better protection, I find a spray quite useful for touch-ups on areas like your feet, exposed to sun through sandals, but you don't want to rub your hands all over them during the day. In case there are any sunburn mishaps, this little pot is my decanted Biofine Emulsion, a famous French pharmacy product that is truly amazing. It's been used in hospitals to treat burns, but it's become a sunburn saviour for many French people too. A few years ago when I applied a thick layer of this for the first time, I expected it to feel really sticky and thick, but 2 minutes later it was completely gone. It's super absorbent and soothing. No sunburn on this trip though, so it's still full. Pretty low maintenance with my hair, so I'll just bring a travel shampoo and conditioner to get me started and then use hotel or Airbnb amenities and purchase some later on. These Aesop minis are a bit fancy, but mostly just nice and small to pack. I always take a mini dry shampoo to start with too. My favourite is by Chlorane, but I'm all out of that so I couldn't film with it, so Batiste is another brand I swap to occasionally, and this can is the same size. I've been using a Tangle Teezer hairbrush for years. They're nice and easy and fit really comfortably in the palm of your hand, so you have a lot of control. Then a few spare hair ties and bobby pins mentioned earlier. Then nails. You'll see my full nail routine on my channel very soon, but these are the tools I take away with me. Like last year, the only polish I packed was Essie Gel Couture in Fairy Tailor, the pretty sheer pink I often wear in my videos. A sheer shade is great for travel because any wear and tear doesn't show up as much, but this formula is also really long lasting. It's not a gel polish though at all, it's just a regular polish with the shiny look and better wear time like a gel. To keep them in shape, I bring my OPI Edge nail file. I could certainly pack something smaller, but I often find really thin nail files quite coarse, so I prefer this one. Then a buffer from Sephora. My favourite side is number 2, where the labels completely come off because this side buffs and smooths my nails before polish so it applies more evenly. I'm using a new and improved buffer now though, so you'll see that in my nail routine video. The thought of nail polish remover spilling in your suitcase makes my stomach drop, and I don't need a big bottle anyway, so I love these little nail polish remover pads. These are the moisturising formula from Boots, the big pharmacy chain in the UK. And hand cream to finish. A tiny travel-sized go-to, super handy, one of my most used hand creams because it feels nice and nourishing, but it's also light and absorbent enough to get on with the day. Finishing with the less exciting essentials: toothbrush, toothpaste, razor, Australian cure-all antiseptic product Savlon, the nail scissors and tweezers, band-aids, and some pocket tissues and cotton pads tucked away too. That's the lot. Hope you enjoyed seeing what I packed in my travel skincare bag to last me a couple of months this year, but I've also been planning to share how I really slim things down down for a weekend away with my skincare, so let me know if you'd be interested in that too. I'd love to hear how you pack your skincare for trips. You might be packing right now for the holidays. Are you a full-sized product fiend or a travel mini maniac? Please share your product essentials and any packing tips or tricks in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.